please take your shoes off first. Now, go ahead and get comfortable. What's good with you, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another episode of Am I the Asshole? Music Stories. This is where we break down Am I the Asshole stories, but from a musician's point of view. Do me a favor, if you remember nothing else about this episode, know that I do this for the overlooked, the underbooked, and the overprepared. You're not solo. You're just meticulous. Am I the asshole for putting family business in a song even if everything I said was true? Man, this is touchy territory because we want to tell our truth. Our truth sometimes involves other people, and that's where it can get a little dicey. I'm gonna see where this goes. Let's get into it. I'm an independent artist, 31 male, been writing music ever since I was a teenager. For me, it's always been about honesty. I rap to process things. I don't really do turn-up tracks. My lane is introspective, emotional, sometimes heavy. Hey bro, I've been in that space. Sometimes I'm still in that space. The turn up doesn't always fit. I do think you should do some turn up stuff, even in that introspective place. But that's what you do. You honesty. That's what's up. That means you probably got some really heavy bars, and it probably takes a minute to digest. Is it like your whole catalog is all Mr. Morale? I'm not trying to tease. Earlier this year, I dropped a project that was really personal. One track in particular dived into my childhood, the trauma, the dysfunction, the things we all pretend didn't happen. I didn't name names, but if you know me, you know who I'm talking about. Yeah, so it's funny when we say I didn't name any names, but it's sensitive because no, you didn't say any names. And most of the time, the people who you're talking about will end up telling on themselves. And as a side note, for those who know of a situation, if the person didn't name any names, don't air yourselves out. Like, don't get on any public platform and be like, I know you didn't just talk about this and that and this and that, because nobody knew until you said anything. I wrote about growing up with a parent who struggled with addiction. I talked about my fights, the instability, the neglect, and yeah, I touched on other family members who either enabled it or stayed quiet. Oh, yeah, you really dug deep. You wasn't lying when you say you got heavy stuff, bro. And it sounds like you was calling people out, not by name, but you was. This is probably a little messy. I never called anyone out directly. No names, no titles, but I didn't sugarcoat it either. I told the truth as I lived it. And that is ultimately what we are supposed to do. We are supposed to tell our truth as we live it. When you start incorporating other people, they might have a different side. I think the better way to handle this is to have a conversation with those family members. Like, hey, I wrote this music. I want you to hear it. I'm going to put it out, but I want you to hear it. I think the real piece is the sideline. They didn't know you was about to do this. They didn't know you were about to put this out. And now they're caught off guard. They out there naked and they don't, it's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable, but you probably knew that. The song started getting traction. A local blog reposted it with the headline, Raw Emotion. This artist doesn't hold back in a new track about family trauma. That's when the blowback hit. Yes, of course, because now it's popular. I would say if it wasn't a good song, and I'm curious to see what it sounds like, but if it wasn't a good song, then I'm sure your family members probably still would have been upset, but they wouldn't have had too much to say because it wouldn't have lived past the moment in which you put it up, which is unfortunate, but at the same time, that's the reality. One of my cousins, someone who was there for a lot of what I rapped about, went on Facebook and tagged me in a post saying, I don't care how you spin it. Using your family's pain for streams is weak. Keep our names out of your verses.
Keep my wife's name out your fucking...
Hey yo, since I got you here, if you have a wild story, janky promoters, studio drama, anything that made you question who was the real problem, I want to hear about it. I'm building this Am I the Asshole music story series off of real stories from people like you. The link is in the description. It's anonymous and it's safe. I don't need your name, I just need the truth. And while you here, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe to the page so you don't miss the next one. All right, let's get back to the chaos. Again, it's one of those things where you're airing yourself out. You told us you didn't say any names. So this family member, this cousin, is airing himself out. Like, hey man, don't use my name in your song. I didn't use your name in the song. You did that all on your own, buddy. This could have been completely fictional for all you know. You told on yourself. Then a few other family members co-signed it in the comments, said, I was disrespecting my elders and airing out dirty laundry for clout. Even had my auntie DM me and talking about how I should have let the past stay in the past. Ooh, that means they know this was real. They know this happened. And they decided, we're going to let sleeping dogs lie. Don't wake them back up. Family conversation could have been had. You didn't have to put on blast for them to find out publicly. They could have known it was coming out and prepared themselves. I got a story for y'all. I don't think I'm going to say it until we get to the end of this because I want to see how this unfolds first. But yeah, this reminds me of something. Here's the thing. None of those people checked on me during the worst parts. None of them protected me. But now that I'm putting words to it, now it's a problem. I never set out to hurt anyone, but I also refuse to silence myself so other people can protect a false image of our family. Yeah, see, now it gets even more complicated because these people are also guilty because they stayed silent. In a way, this is your get back. This is you were silent, I'm not about to be. I kind of respect it. You could have came forth and said something because it sounds like you guys still are in communication. But I certainly understand this one's gonna be hard to judge. Some folks are saying I should have had a conversation first. See what I'm saying? I'm not the only one who thought this. Not the only one. Others say I'm brave for telling my story and helping others feel seen. So, am I the asshole for turning my family trauma into a song, even if it made some relatives uncomfortable? Woo, boy. Boy. Yeah, let me go split on this one. I don't know if you're the asshole here. On one hand, you're the asshole for airing out your family laundry. Even though you said no names, even though you made no specificity, this is still a sensitive subject because the reality is people will air themselves out. On the other hand, you're not an asshole because this is your truth. You just gotta make sure you protect the ones who it might hurt in the long run. Remember, we're the ones in the public light. We're the ones who decided to have this life. If I decide to say something that happened that involves multiple people, they might not be ready to deal with that. This isn't the story I was gonna tell y'all about, but I made a post that included my wife. This was not a negative post. This was very positive, putting her in a highlight. But at the same time, my wife is a very private person. She does not like to be known like that. Certainly not on a public platform such as YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, none of that. She doesn't mind me talking about her, but I put a picture of her up and she did not appreciate that. I should have told her I'm about to put her in this post, and that's where the disconnect happened. I should have said something, but I didn't. And the same thing with you. You should have said, hey, I'm about to put this out. It's about to be bad, but you should know it's gonna happen. That way you cover all your bases. Nobody looks at you like the direct asshole. I mean, yes, it's a little asshole-ish, but at the same time, they see it coming, so they can't get too mad at you. But I promised y'all a story. So when I was in college, I got into a little bit of some beef. This is one of the reasons why I don't write diss songs to this day. I mean, I have written some diss songs, but they'll never come out. So I was part of this poet society at my school, and we had themed nights where all the people in the poet society wrote to a specific theme. The theme for that week was beef. I kind of was the catalyst for that beef because I wrote a poem, I presented it to the society, and they were like, oh, we gotta air out drama this week. In hindsight, not my finest moment. I wrote a poem about a young lady. We had dated for a couple weeks. It didn't end well. She spread some nasty rumors about me on campus. I decided to retaliate on a public stage. Just like your story, I never said her name. But the school is very small. Everybody knew who I was talking about. So I got to this particular line. I alluded to calling her the B word, and her face got bright red. Everybody turned around and looked, and somebody stood up and said, oh, you talking about her. In the moment, I felt vindicated. I felt great. That level of petty was just like, loved it. To this day, I feel really bad about that. I shouldn't have put our business out on such a public display. And I could have handled that so much better. My feelings was hurt. And just like you, your feelings is hurt. You could have handled this a lot better. You could have told your family this song is about to come out. I'm not saying don't tell your truth. I'm never gonna tell somebody not to tell their truth. But there are ways you can go about it to where people know it's coming and they can brace themselves for it. Remember, we chose this life, not everybody else. But that's my thought. What do y'all think? Is my man's an asshole for turning his pain into a song and including those who may or may not be guilty? I don't know, you decide. Let me know what's up. Hey, hold up. Before you go, if you enjoyed this Am I the Asshole story, please make sure you click the playlist on the screen. The rest of the stories go just as hard, and some of them a little bit harder than this one. I'm trying to give you these stories weekly, and possibly faster, but I need y'all to keep watching. So click the playlist on the screen and stay tapped in. And hey, if you have a wild music story, don't hold back. Go ahead and click the link in the description and submit your Am I the Asshole moment. It could be your story I break down next. Tap in with me. You know I tap back. Peace.
Everything meticulous.